Welcome back to the recap show. On today's episode, we will be talking about the start of the NWSL season, and we will be joined by the Thompson sisters for an athlete to founder interview brought to you by Intuit QuickBooks. Now, let's start the show.
Welcome back to the recap show. What an honor it is for Tobin and I to get to have these conversations with all of you. Here we are with the kickoff. How are we starting this episode, Tobin?
We're starting this episode with the actual kickoff of the NWSL season. It is upon us. It is here.
The NWSL season is here.
Yeah. Do you feel like the excitement?
Yes, I do. There's
The
nothing
nervousness?
like a home opener to start your season.
Oh, you guys do.
Yeah.
You start at home against your rivals.
Against our rivals, the San Diego Wave.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a reminder. Let's be better fans this year than we were last year. Let's buy more jerseys. Let's buy more tickets. Let's really go hard into our favorite players, our
Bring
favorite
your
teams.
friends. Shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
Watch the recap show.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do it all. And like for that game, Angel City, San Diego, like let's create these rivalries, you know? Let's like get into it. Let's get into the banter. Let's like start feeling these things.
Well, I'm going to do my part. You all do your part. And we had so many other things to tell you. So many feelings, so many opinions, but our interview is just so good that we're going to go straight into it.
See you there.
The Recap Show is proud to be an Intuit QuickBooks partner, an end-to-end business platform helping small businesses grow. From athletes to everyday small business owners, QuickBooks has you covered to help tell your story. Today, we are joined by NWSL and US Women's National Team stars and sisters, Gisele and Alyssa Thompson. Tobin, do you want to tell us about the Thompson sisters?
Two of the most exciting, dynamic players for both club and country. Let's bring them in. Welcome, Thompson sisters. All right. Well, you guys just got home from national team camp, right?
Yes.
Day off. Congrats, G, on your
Thanks.
first cap. Do you? What was that like for you?
It was very exciting. Like, every time Gisele touched the ball, I was like watching. I would stop my warm up and watch the game because I was like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. But then, yeah, I was just really happy after the game that she was able to get in and like she played good. So I was happy.
Oh, that's awesome. And what was it like for you, Gisele?
It was very, like, I was nervous the whole entire time, but, like, having Alyssa there made it so much more comfortable, and, like, going into camp, I felt like I already knew somebody, and it was all of, like, the younger players, too. It was, like, such a different group, so I felt like it was so much more, like, chill this camp, which made me feel like I could do it, and I felt like Emma really believed in all of, like, the younger players, so when I went on the field, it was, like, they all have my back, like, I'm
Wow.
supported. So it felt like a lot different than when I was a training player last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what was more terrifying, your first cap or your first podcast being the recap show?
Oh yeah,
wait,
facts.
What are you most
it's like the
nervous for?
same. Same nervousness. No, actually, yeah. I feel like I'm always like the same amount of nervous.
Or you just have nervous energy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how has it been, Alyssa, as you have continued your journey on the national team now in the new Emma Hayes era?
It's been nice. I mean, as Gisele said, there was like a lot of the younger players that I played with before, and it did feel like a different vibe. But I know that like Emma believes in all of us, so it's been nice just having like a different view of the national team, and also like I feel like I'm learning a lot when I go in from her, like tactically and stuff.
Yeah, when we were on the national team, it was almost like a club team. It was just like the structure of soccer was a bit different. We went into camp so many days,
Mhm.
and then you just like bop to club for like in between, right?
Yeah.
And now it's a little bit reversed,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of, I feel like you guys' time is spent at Angel City, and that's where you develop. But do you still feel like when you go in, you're learning the game and you're learning the fundamentals and the identity of the national team in a way that allows you to actually bring that back to club.
Yeah, for sure. I think Emma is like so tactically minded that she's like, she really wants and is harping on that for the whole team. And going into camp, like every time, like everyone's looking at the iPads, we're all like looking at different things that we need to learn defensively.
Wait, what's on the iPads?
Like
all the things that used to be in
all the tactics.
Literally everything.
Like, we're on iPads. The last time I was in. Wait, like on the sideline, or like you have iPads
everywhere.
all the time?
Yeah.
Like on all the meal tables and stuff, you pick up an iPad.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like the future.
Yeah. That was like when we got computers in school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just had printouts.
Okay, you guys know that there was a time on the Nash team where they would put the schedule for the next day. They would slide it under your door.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like we didn't have like a schedule on our phone. Like, yes, we did have phones, I think, at that point. But yeah, like you would get like you would hear it. It was always so funny because
you'd
you'd
be
be
manager
like,
would come around and slip it under everyone's door.
and
Isn't
you'd
that
be like in bed,
adorable?
like chilling, and then you'd hear this like little paper slide, and you'd like run to the door to see like what the next day was
Oh
going
my
to be like.
gosh, that's funny.
I
Yeah.
like knowing, like planning ahead.
Yeah,
like
though.
knowing what we have.
Yeah. Well, you did. It actually gave you the schedule for the full week, but
Oh.
it did change each day. But how do you feel like the difference is? Because your first impression of the Nash team is under the Emma era, right?
Yeah.
Emma's been your coach. Or did you go into with the national team?
Well, I was a
Twyla
training
was-
player when Twyla was like the head-ish coach.
oh, Twyla, yeah.
Yeah, but it was like a very different experience, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Do you feel like your sister's experience was different than when you came into the team? Because when you came into the team, you were just like, you had to hit the ground
Yeah.
like sprinting. Whereas like right now the Nash team's like in a building phase. So it feels like there's more like room for like growth. But
Yeah.
you were coming in and it was just like,
Yeah, honestly, going into camp, that was my first time experiencing like a professional environment. Like,
yeah.
I was 17. I wasn't even thinking about going pro. I was like just moseying along, and I got called into camp, and then it was just so different from anything that I've ever experienced, and I didn't really have anyone to talk to because I didn't know anyone like at all.
Yeah.
So it was just a very interesting dynamic, but
Yeah.
it obviously now is so different, which is all.
Yeah. And it just feels like there's a whole generation of players
Yeah.
that you feel like is like you're a part of
Mhm.
a group of players as opposed to just being like the one player
Mhm.
on a team, which
And
I
it
think
happens
is
fast.
huge.
Like you were like the baby
Yeah.
and the youngest one, and now you're an older sister on the team.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously not just you, like a lot
Yeah.
of young players are coming in and it feels different. But I actually recall when I felt like I was a young player for so long, like trying to break in, and then I looked up and everyone was like my age or younger.
Yeah.
And it just in a flash, like
Yeah.
the generations change. And I feel like the next phase for you I see is like leaning into that and leaning into, you know, the experiences that you have. And
Mhm.
I think it's obviously amazing that you get to be there for your
So
sister.
cool.
And hopefully you have, you know, the guidance of your older sister there for as long as possible. Because it's really special.
It's huge. I mean, like Kristen and I both have two sisters too. Obviously, I think Kristen has a much more similar story to you both and your family being like a very soccer focused family. Like you two are within a year apart.
Yeah.
How many months?
They do that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time that happens.
We're 13 months
13 months
Yeah.
apart. And then you also have a younger sister who is another like incredible soccer player
And
as well,
didn't
right?
she just get a call up?
Yeah.
What to what?
To the U14.
U14.
Yeah.
When was that her first one?
Yeah.
It was like 80 players and like all on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
she was
is so cool.
Like, and they all were watching our game when like we were playing.
Yeah. They were watching the
Wow.
Australia
And she was
game.
like, every time you guys touch the ball, everyone would look at me.
That
It
is
was so
so
funny, yeah.
cute. What was that like for you all? Because obviously you just basically, you both being on the field at the same time, wearing the US Women's National Team jersey was definitely like a dream, right? Like something that you guys had envisioned when you were kids. Do you remember like what that first moment was when you guys kind of looked at each other and were like, should we like dream about playing on the national team together? Like, what was that like for you when you were little? Do you remember those early memories?
All I remember is in our room we had a poster of like the 23, the national team, and I remember like being like, I want to be on that poster. Like that was like, we didn't look up to professional teams because obviously there weren't any. So like the national team was the thing that you wanted to be on. That's what you aspired to be on. And I feel like even before we got called into like youth national team camps, I remember like probably like 8 or 9. I feel like I was like, I really want to be on the national team because you guys were so inspiring and like winning is fun. So you guys were doing
which
a lot of
23 was it?
Yeah.
2015?
Was that 15? She's probably like, no, it's 19.
Right? It was
Or it could be 2019.
I think it was 15, the one with the like
when we were in Canada.
blue.
Yeah,
15.
Yeah.
I mean, all of our kids are blue, yet we all know exactly what you're talking about.
Specific.
Yeah,
15.
very blue.
Yes.
Wow. And then in terms of like your family and how you are really like rooted and grounded in the sport, like what was that like? What has been kind of the cauldron of the Thompson sisters, all 3 of you, that has made you kind of decide to dedicate your life and like love this game? Like obviously you guys have a special sauce in the Thompson family here, without giving away all the secrets to all the parents that are like, tell us.
I feel like there wasn't really like one thing. Like we did like a lot of sports, so we did like soccer, and I think track really helped us too with like speed. But I don't think like soccer was really in our minds until we started like playing club and we started getting really good at it. And then I think once we got called into camp, that's just like, oh wait, we're like really good. Like maybe we should like keep like focusing on that. And I think like, we like fell in love with it more too. Just like obviously like, the friendships that you make, and also like doing it together was just like so amazing. And I don't know, it felt like right at the time.
I feel like a big reason why I love it is because I get to play with Gisele and like we get to do everything together, and that's like my favorite thing ever. So just being able to like be with her, and like I think that has helped me like want to keep doing it, you know?
And I feel like it's so much easier too, because when we played with boys, like I feel like doing it alone is so much harder than having like Alyssa there. Because like thinking about Zoe doing it with boys, I would be like, that's so hard to do
by yourself.
Yeah, by yourself. Like having Alyssa, I could talk to her, like passing with her and like warm-ups and stuff.
You wouldn't have to be like alone, like standing by yourself,
like awkwardly like stretching on the side.
Like we could be talking to each other and laughing. Like it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah.
So that was
Wow, that's so awesome.
Okay, we have more on that, but I think it's a good time to play our game.
Yeah.
Okay.
What game?
And honestly, we kind of have to figure this out live because I don't remember exactly how we planned on doing this. Do you want to grab your card?
I am really excited for this.
We named this game Sister versus Sister.
Oh,
Sister,
sister. Other sisters?
No. Oh. It didn't say sisters versus sisters.
Sister versus sister.
My bad.
Sister versus sister. That's also getting cut. Yeah, that's sorry.
Wait, you go. I guess I'd start the game with my own question. Who usually wins games between the two of you? Not just like obviously soccer, but like, you know, card games, like all the games. You say you play a lot of sports. Like,
I feel like we don't play like one-on-one. I feel like
what about family games?
Yeah, I feel like our parents always win. We get so mad.
I feel like I win.
Really?
Oh.
When?
Yeah.
What game?
Like all the time.
Like what game?
Like sequence?
No.
Yes.
When have we ever played against
Gisele.
each other?
But I win though.
No.
I remember winning.
I remember winning.
Like a little gaslighting going on. She's like,
I was thinking that these chakra cardinals went to both their heads. I win. I always win.
It's definitely hit.
We need that.
It's it. Yeah.
Okay, good time for it to hit. Okay.
Okay, so that's the game. We're just gonna ask you who would between the two of you.
Yeah.
And some of them are gonna be rapid fire. And some
Okay.
of them aren't. Who would make the better boss?
I feel like you would.
Oh, I was gonna say you.
Oh, now they're being
Oh.
humble.
Wait,
confidence.
yeah, stop.
You did chill
Maybe
on
they're
that.
like co-bosses.
Oh, that's a good life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The co-host.
Yeah, together.
Okay, who is more likely to be 5 minutes late to a big meeting?
You.
Gisele, I would never be late.
I wouldn't either.
No, okay,
I
both
always
of them-
come early.
I always come early too. I leave my house so I make sure like that I have 10 minutes before I have to be.
No, I make sure I'm so
like, waiting
early
in the car.
because I actually get so
I
nervous.
feel like
You're
both of
both
us
early?
we've been like raised like this to get places early.
Well,
When have I been
no,
late?
I'm not saying, but like there was this one time I was at a U.S. soccer camp in the
Oh.
Netherlands, and
Oh yeah.
I
remember
slept like we put an alarm, but it never went off, and we woke up and it was the time to leave, and we weren't
weren't dressed or
dressed.
anything.
It was me and my roommate.
So
we weren't-
you.
yeah, no,
Wait, what happened?
yeah.
we weren't dressed.
Did you get in
and-
trouble?
Yeah, we went on the bus and I was like crying.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
I was
did you
like
get in
looking-
trouble?
Well, actually, no. I feel like that was like a very chill camp.
Yeah,
like the
that
coach
camp-
wasn't.
Okay, well, if you're late,
That's a-
then you can't cry.
Yeah, I
Moving
know,
forward,
I
you're
know.
one or the other.
I know it was really bad. I was younger though, so I was like, that was the only thing I
Yeah,
felt. I was just
I-
like,
That's the hard thing
that
about these
is
international camps when you're an adolescent.
yeah.
You
Oh,
gotta
the
sleep.
sleep,
You
the
can't
sleep.
and you're jet lagged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's also like the culture of the national team, it is terrifying. Like most of the time you
Yes.
don't get in trouble, but it's always like it's such a
Yeah.
privilege to be there
Yeah.
that you're just like,
I can't.
I
mess
want to
up.
mess up on the field. I don't want to mess up like by being late to
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
meeting.
Well, I would like to mess up in neither circumstance, but I can vouch for you both. I've never seen either of you late.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Yeah.
okay, who's more
Confidence?
likely to accidentally reply all to everyone on an email?
You,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
probably
you? Oh, we
me.
have an
I feel like I barely respond.
Yeah, Gisele never responds, and
Yeah.
I would just be like randomly like, and then respond.
Yeah.
and then it would go to everyone.
Well, that's a good way to not make any mistakes. Just
Yeah,
not
just not-
respond.
That was really clear. We got a
Yeah.
lot of clarity on that one. Okay, who is more likely to pay the bill at dinner?
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, another
Really?
agreement.
Well, I feel like we split.
Yeah, but like if I would pay it. Though.
Yeah, I'd be like,
if we would,
I'd be-
yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, do you
It's big
all
sisterish.
talk about money to each other and like from the mindset of like pay transparency? The other day, I remember
Oh,
I
yeah.
asked you about your contract. I think I asked both
Yeah.
of you because I think over the course of my career, I've learned that, you know, sometimes we get pitted against each other, but in a lot of ways, the more information we all have as a team or,
Yeah.
you know, a group of people working in any way, the more power and leverage we all have in our own negotiations. And I thought about asking you all, and I was like, wow, they're like from a totally different generation. Like, I don't know if they've ever heard about pay transparency or think of it this way. So I wanted, but at the same time, because you have each other, you have a little bit of pay transparency probably, right?
Yeah, I feel like, well, like with contracts and stuff, like we know
Yeah.
what we are both getting, and like it's also already like everyone knows what people are getting paid. So.
Yeah, no, and that's why the Players Association releases the
Yeah.
contracts for pay transparency.
Yeah.
So that you can sort of look at a player that's about equal to
Mhm.
you and say, like, hey, I know this
Yeah.
is my worth.
Mhm.
So that's actually where that comes from.
Yeah.
And I also mean from like the point of like savings. Like
Yeah.
you all are making money, you're super young, and it's like, how do you know what to do with your money?
We have a financial advisor
Nice.
that helps us with
Yeah.
everything. I mean, we work with like a finance company, Stiefel, and they like help us with all like our financial literacy and like
That's amazing.
have advisors and stuff, and like we have people like doing our
Yeah,
money.
it's
'cause we
so
wouldn't-
helpful.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Do they like teach you about your money?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we would go in like at the every quarter or something
Mhm.
or something like that. We go in and like he gives us like a pamphlet.
Yeah.
He's our uncle too, so
Yeah.
like he gives
It's
us
so
a
easy.
pamphlet and like we go over like everything that we've like
amazing.
spent and then like what we should cut on or what we should like be like we should spend money on that
Mhm.
and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm basically the uncle here.
Uncle Kristen.
I go over our budget,
Yep.
and I'm like, oh, we got to cut this. We got to invest in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we also have financial advisors. Actually, just What was it? I'm not that good, but it was last year, the year before last, where like Tobin and I made a point of like, let's not just like, do something good with our money because we have help, but like also let's like get educated and learn about it. So that's really cool that you're already doing it super young. And also, the game's shifted so much. So your earning potential is so much higher. So it's just really great to hear that you're being really responsible with it.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy too because
we try.
Yeah. Anyways, I was going to go into more depth about that, but it's fine.
You can. It's your show.
Well, I was going to say it's funny because when I first got on the national team, I was still playing in college, so I wasn't getting paid. And I remember, like, I wasn't even able to be a part of the conversations when they talked about how much money they made. They'd be like, "Oh, players that are underage or like leave the room."
Wow.
And they would have the conversations like that you would have with your uncle, where they would do all the money conversations. And I remember the first time once I graduated that I was like able to go into one of those meetings, and I felt like I never wanted to go into a meeting like that again because I felt like it ruined the innocence in a lot of ways of football for me, because up until that point there was no like even idea in my mind that you got paid for playing football. So I remember that, and at the time most of the conversations in these rooms were about how like we weren't being paid fairly. And I just remember just being like, well, I didn't even know we were going to get paid.
I went to 2012 Olympics as an alternate, and I was told that I was going to be paid after. And I had no idea that you made money to do, like, it was like an honor. Like, I had been in camp for 2 straight months, like at an Olympics. And because I had never really gone into camp, like, I didn't even know that money was on the table.
Yeah.
And like, it's a very different world.
How do you guys deal with like your own, because you guys definitely have a brand together, right? The Thompson sisters are a brand. But like, is there a part of you too that's like, no, like I'm Alyssa Thompson and I'm Gisele Thompson. Is there a part of you that like wants independence of your own brands in any way? Or are you guys just like, we're a package deal, like it's X amount of money to work with the Thompson sisters?
Do you want to go first?
Was that a complicated question?
I honestly, I feel like I don't really care about it that much. Like, I like being put together with Alyssa. Like, I feel like she's like such an amazing player, and like being able to be a part of that and just like be shown together. I think that's like just so like, it's also very rare to have like 2 sisters that are like playing at such a high level. So I think it's not something like negative. I feel like I take it very like positive, and I like being seen as the Thompson sisters.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it as like I want to be like just Gisele Thompson kind of thing.
But you did dye your hair blonde.
True.
It's a little something obvious now.
Yeah.
They still get us mixed up.
Facts. No, I think that whenever someone's like the Thompson sisters, I'm like, yes, put us together. Like, I love being put together with Gisele. I think it's like amazing. And I think like we don't have like, oh, the Thompson sisters, this is your deal. Like, they pay us differently in some deals, and some deals like are just for me and some deals are just for her. So like if we can be together, we will be, but it's not like deal breaker. And we like know that like our value and our worth is gonna be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's so funny that you asked. Why'd you ask?
Well, I was just thinking like I'm such an individualist. Like
She hates if we ever get packaged together in anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like to be fair,
And yet
you
here
all
we
have
are.
a lot of- Welcome to our show.
Oh, she bad.
But yeah, like I just feel like I have always been so like, no, this is my craft. Like this is my identity. This is my thing. And to be fair, like you both have like some similarities to your game that are totally like a Thompson sister trait, right? Like even like you guys probably get like misidentified on the field because you guys have like kind of similar running styles, you know? And it like mannerisms too. But I think that that's like a part of like this. Like I always wonder, like, what if one of you, because both of you guys are Nike athletes, what if one of you were just like, I like Adidas better? Like that wouldn't happen, right?
Yeah, I feel like
We like the same things,
Yeah.
though. Like,
Yeah.
we do like the same things.
we
so that
share
wouldn't
like all of
happen.
our clothes and
Yeah.
everything, so we're like basically the same person.
I mean, did you ever like hear about like the Bryan twins, the tennis players? They played doubles.
No.
Oh, well, they were basically like they're actually twins, but they were a doubles team, and they were just like this. Yeah, their whole life was the brand of like these two brothers playing tennis, and it's just
I think that only works when like it's authentic.
yeah, and this is so
You know, like they
authentic.
were like, oh, we don't even think about it as like we are a brand because like you're just the
It's like-
two of you
Yeah,
and you're
you're
just
just always
It's
together.
like
Yeah.
it's like breathing, you know.
Okay. Who cleans the kitchen?
I've been cleaning it more.
Okay, in the beginning, I was
Yeah.
cleaning it the whole entire time, and then she's been starting to.
But do you clean it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, I feel like I vacuum and stuff and clean more than you do. Like
The kitchen.
floor.
She said the kitchen.
I know. The kitchen. I also vacuum the kitchen.
Is there carpet in your kitchen?
No.
No, it's just like
Oh,
stuff
well,
gets
yeah,
everywhere.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Carpet in the kitchen.
That's what I was really worried.
Yeah, I don't.
We were gonna go straight to the
There after
kitchen.
this, I'm gonna wrench that carpet up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Who is faster?
Alyssa.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, did Alyssa tell you what we had asked her at the end of the year party last year?
What?
No, I didn't. I didn't tell her.
Do you want to tell her now?
You tell her.
Well, actually, I don't recall exactly how it
gosh.
went.
Yeah, I mean, you.
But but it was something like, I think I had been told that you were faster.
Oh yeah,
and so
yeah.
I had told
yeah.
Tobin that you were faster.
Oh.
And then we kind of gave her a hard time and she was not having it.
Yeah. She gets mad about that.
But I was like, because if we race, like I would beat you.
Yeah, but like,
But, like
sometimes.
maybe your top speed might be
Yeah.
faster than me, but if we race, I
Yeah,
would beat
yeah,
you,
yeah.
and I think that's like
Ooh, so that might be a competitive thing.
maybe.
Performance thing.
when she has.
But
Me
I still
next to
think
her.
I can reach your top speed.
Yeah.
or I have before.
Because I don't know if speed is something you can just will, right? So if you race and you win, then you're faster.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I
That's
bet
what I'm
there
saying.
are different forms of
Over any
speed.
distance? Is there any distance that you think you wouldn't win?
No, I feel like longer distance, I would win.
Ooh.
In the 400, I always got
Oh, like,
faster
you're-
time.
No,
a
but
more
like
endurance
800,
athlete?
1600.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
so not speed, but endurance. But
Yeah.
that also makes sense because usually they're one or the
I
other.
think
a
they're
little
both
bit.
similar in that too, though.
What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about.
I mean,
that.
half the
She
time
has
I'm
no
like,
idea.
why is Alyssa defending? Stop defending.
Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does.
I'm like, other people get paid to defend, Alyssa.
Oh my
Stay by the
gosh,
goal.
That's exactly what I said. I said just and then it was just I said just trust her. She's
Yeah.
got it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
at
isn't it-
US
yeah, I
soccer,
don't
it's like
help that.
they tell them don't defend. Like,
Yeah.
don't double down.
Yeah.
Like, they're really.
That's what
It's so
I
much-
say.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, first off, well, we'll get into that later on camera. But yeah, anyways,
Importantly, it's not about not defending.
Exactly.
It's about scoring
Yeah.
at all costs. And you can defend
it's
on
about
your
what are
front
you?
foot.
Yeah, what are you out on the field for? That's what you should do the majority of the time.
All right, a couple more. Who would be the one to ask for a photo op with a celebrity at an event?
I feel like.
You?
Actually?
Ooh.
Me? I don't know. We're both
Together.
scared.
Yeah, we'd be like, wait, no.
And
we'd
we'd
be
be
like,
like,
yeah, you
let's
do
go
it.
together.
If you go, I'll go.
But who would ask? Like we would go up.
Yeah, I think you would-
probably,
yeah, you
I
would ask.
But we would go together. I would have
Yeah.
Gisele like next to me, but I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Can we get a picture?"
Yeah.
And who would you be asking? Like, who would you actually want a photo with?
I would want a photo with Beyonce.
Yeah, I would want
Good
one with
one.
Drake.
Oh.
Hey,
I know. I don't even know how to feel about that.
Wait,
Wait, do you
why?
not like Drake?
No.
You don't
don't?
like Drake?
No.
Oh, do you like Beyonce?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
do you
mean,
like-
I mean, who can say they don't like
Kendrick?
Beyonce?
Wait, do you like Kendrick?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, that makes,
makes
sense.
sense.
but, like,
Do you not like Kendrick?
I don't not like him, but I like Drake more.
Have you seen
You're
either
from
of them
LA,
perform
dude.
live?
Wait, what?
Have you seen either of them perform live?
Drake. Yeah.
Go see Kendrick and
Kendrick's
just
amazing.
Did you like his halftime performance?
no.
Yeah.
I liked
You liked it?
I liked it like neutral because I feel like
You like the message behind it.
exactly.
Yeah.
exactly,
And I couldn't
yeah.
actually see it when I was watching it, but
Yeah.
before I
Yeah.
started saying bad things, I was
You're
like,
like,
I'm just gonna wait until I hear what this is about
Yeah.
from Twitter.
Okay. Final question.
Okay.
Who is more afraid of Christen? She looks over accusingly.
Oh my gosh, they're speaking telepathically.
We actually do that. That was insane.
Oh my god.
That was freaking insane. That is so
actually didn't say
creepy.
anything.
I don't understand.
Oh my gosh. Whoever's listening on audio has to immediately go and watch this.
Okay. I feel like
Me?
okay, yeah, Gisele. Are you gonna be like Gisele? Yeah, Gisele.
Yeah.
Well, what about your dream?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Wait.
god. Wait, did you tell her?
Yeah, you
I-
definitely told her.
I think you need to tell us all.
Okay. I'll tell everyone.
I heard it was a nightmare, not a dream.
Kind of a nightmare, actually.
No, it
I woke
was.
up anxious, but so basically, I forgot where we were. We were in this park, and there was a guy like across the way, and Christen like comes up to me. He's like, "Will you help distract that guy?" And I was like, "Sure." So I start like hosing water or something. And then he's looking at me, and then Christen like spears him with like something, and then I'm like, "Oh my god!" Okay, so next we're at a hospital for some reason, and people are coming to interview me, and Gisele and Casey are there, like with me at this interview, and I was like, "I don't know what happened. Like nothing happened," and then I go outside. Kristen's just like smiling, like has no care in the world. It's just like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she just killed somebody, and I saw, and I helped, and I don't know what to do. Like, should I tell someone? Like, I felt like I was about to cry, and then I woke up, and I was like, oh my god, thank God that wasn't real. I actually thought it was real. Like, I was like,
That was so vivid.
Yeah.
Like, just you retelling it is so vivid.
right?
Yeah,
No,
that would
you
be
didn't even
terrifying.
tell me that many details. I didn't know about the host.
The host.
Yeah. That's what I was doing.
That made like such a clear image in my head. Like I almost remembered it.
It actually happened. It did happen.
Don't
You know, everything is real.
Cut that part out.
Wow. A long career definitely cut short. So even though Gisele is more terrified of Christen, you have nightmares about Christen.
Basically.
Basically, yeah.
Oh man, so good. What is Kristen's like? I don't get to see her anymore, like in the
Oh,
like
okay.
soccer environment. So like, paint a picture. Like, what is her
Yeah, you
like
go first.
aura?
I don't know. It's just like it's hard to describe her.
She's like, I feel like she's like kind of happy. Like you're like when you're on the field, you're like
Aw.
smiling all the time.
you.
And
Wow.
she's like, let's go. Like she like talks a lot too. And like
Yeah.
on the field, she's very intense, but like wants everyone to be like
Yeah.
at the level. And like it's just like you're just happy to be there.
I
Yeah, and
am.
you're very supportive. Like I feel like when you want somebody to do good, like you tell them how it is. Like you don't hide anything, like you just say it how it is. But I think it's very helpful for like a lot of people.
Yeah, usually good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's turn a corner.
Okay.
So, you all have accomplished like incredible things at a young age, like, and ticked a huge box that like a week ago with the national team. Like, what does success look like for the Thompson sisters? What is next?
For me, I would say like continuing to be on the women's national team and like being seen as somebody that can play a key role on that team and not somebody that's just like, we'll see if she will come into camp or like just be on the U23s, like just somebody like on the side. Like I want to be like somebody that they'll always call into camp and like they'll trust me to always be in that role, I feel like, but also like just being more confident in Angel City first and like knowing that I can create more than just like defending, like getting in the final third and creating more assists or like maybe getting more shots off and just like creating more. So I think just like being like more of a key player in like both of those environments.
Love that.
I feel like success for me would be, I was like trying to think about it, and I feel like it would be definitely starting on the national team, being a key player, like a for sure staple on the team, and then like in club, being considered one of the best in the world, and continuing to just like, or like having all the things that I've been wanting to work on, or like having something that separates me from all the other wingers and players out there, that like you can't deny, like is undeniable, and like just making a lot of money and being happy.
Oh,
Love
I
that.
love that.
Yeah, I love
Money
that.
equals
Say that.
happiness.
Say that.
The perfect way
Say
to end the
it.
interview. Money equals
Equals
happiness.
When you guys are having like your conversations with Emma, what is she talking about in terms of both your games, in terms of what she's looking for, whether it's like out of you specifically or out of a position for you to accomplish what you said?
Yeah, for me, she kind of said like wanting me to progress more up the field and like getting in the final third, but also not always forcing it and always having to like get those crosses in, like knowing when to get those crosses in, like an early cross and just different types of crosses. But also like recirculating it and knowing when it's my time to go forward, like not always having to, but also like in the defending aspect, always like getting in those tackles, not being afraid, and just like winning my battles in those areas.
Love it.
Yeah, for me, she said that I need to combine more in the final third and like have a different way of beating people and not just going 1v1 every time, but like having help from my teammates to combine and to get into the final third. Yeah, crossing too, definitely. Yeah, just like overall getting more experience and then at the international level, she wants me to like feel more experienced in that. Yeah.
That's good. You're like, yeah, I'd love more experience.
Put me on the field.
And you both just signed like long-term contracts with Angel City. Like you guys are saying, like this is a place that I want to continue to develop my game. Is that like really exciting for you? This is your hometown. Like your family gets to come to every single game. Was this important to your development to stay here for the next few years? Is this where you feel like you're going to grow?
Yeah, I think being able to see what Angel City has already done, like with the facility, and they're really focusing on getting good leadership. I feel like being here with Gisele too will like in the end help me develop more, and just being able to be like surrounded by quality players and like obviously playing in competitive games every weekend will be very helpful.
What part of those like decisions do you guys have? Like we always talk about athletes being like entrepreneurs where like you're your own business, right? And these are all like business decisions that you're having to make, like a new contract, a new team, like where you're going to develop, where you're going to make more money, how you're going to get to the next phase. Like what are those like show us like, or kind of give us a little inside look of like what it's like in the Thompson family when you guys are talking about like what's the next business decision for you guys? Like how much influence do you have over your career, because you're still technically, young adults?
I feel like it's like mainly our decision. Like they tell us like the pros and cons of like each, like what each idea would be, but it's like mainly what we want. And I think a big decision was playing together too. Like it's very rare we're gonna be on the same team for the rest of our career, but I think being it my second year, it's so much like more comfortable, and I feel like I'm gonna gain more confidence, and like that could help me develop and grow as a player.
Yeah, I feel like it's our decision what we do, but it's very hard to make certain decisions when you know you have like different options and like things are more comfortable or things seem like very scary and you don't want to do it, but you're like, wait, but this would be good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to like have our parents' input, our agents' input, and telling us like what it could look like somewhere else or where we are is really helpful. And like, because I feel like in these situations, I'm like, I don't know what I want to do, but I know like I know my end goal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like trying to figure out how to piece it together in a way to like get there.
I mean, that sounds amazing. Like at the first question that we asked was, who's the better boss? And like ultimately, you're both the CEO of your own businesses, your own brands, your own careers. And there are no right answers.
Yeah.
You're going to get where you're going to get. And it's going to be effort and determination and talent and luck and destiny. And I imagine like your financial advisor, your agent, your parents, like each other, like sitting at each other's tables.
Yeah.
But like you, Gisele, you're the CEO of that business and you get to like take everyone's input and say, well, I do want to play with my sister and this is going to have this benefit. But I do later maybe want to make a different decision. And I mean, I think for two really young people who are thrust into a game that is rapidly changing and are making decisions that we never had to make at that age, you're doing an amazing job.
You really
Thanks.
are. Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep it up. And I just wanted to say that I love being teammates with both of you.
Thanks.
And honestly,
She
Alyssa,
does.
like when you scored your first goal last season, it was the highlight of my season. And there's something really special about having a different generation on the team and having people that are in totally different like life circumstances and place of career. But it's so much fun for me to get to have a little bit of input and influence on what you do and also learn from you. So thanks for being my friends and teammates.
Oh, that was so
nice.
nice.
Once again, we'd like to thank Intuit QuickBooks for their support of the recap show, women's sports, and small businesses everywhere.
All right, y'all. It is time for everyone's favorite segment, community questions. Tobin, you want to start?
Sure. Ray from China wants to know, do you prefer Disney or Universal Studios?
100% Disney. Thank you for asking. I love Disney. I love Disneyland.
Wait, I thought they were the same thing.
No. Universal Studios is where they have like Back to the Future.
I thought they had better
and
rides.
They have rides.
Oh.
Oh, what's the one where you go in and it's like fire everywhere and it's just scorching your
Indiana
face?
Jones,
No.
no?
That's at Disneyland. You are so confused. Backdrop. Is it Backdraft? What is it called? Backdraft. You would love this, actually.
Really?
I should take you to Universal. But Harry Potter's at Universal. So you've been there.
Okay.
And you got sick. You got motion sickness on the only ride at Harry Potter, and then we left. So I did not like it.
So least cool thing about me.
I stand by my original. It's Disney.
Oh my gosh.
Andy from Seattle asks, what did your childhood bedroom look like?
Andy, like I am actually like really excited to answer this question, but then I like paused and thought like, what a creepy question. But enough about you and more about me. So my childhood bedroom was the coolest place in the whole entire world. Basically, I shared a room with one of my sisters for a while, and I begged my dad to have my own room because it was a lot.
Because she used to throw the cat on your face from her bunk bed.
You know, I just felt like I needed some independence. And so I begged him, and he actually converted the attic into a bedroom. And it had slanted ceilings. So if you were like, you know, like adult height, you would like, you couldn't walk like up there, like you'd bang your head. And I covered the walls with like inspirational, like just soccer paraphernalia everywhere on the walls. And it was like my little like sanctuary of just like everything in my mind palace was like my room. And everything soccer. And I had this like when you walked up the steps, there was like this shelf. And I had all my trophies.
Wow.
And you know, when you're a kid, you get a trophy for like everything. And I had them like meticulously like all on this like one platform.
Was it dusty up there?
No, it was incredible.
Did your mom come up there and hoover?
I mean, it was clean.
You
You
know,
know
the
how my mom
attic.
is.
Yeah.
It's not like it was fully furnished. It was so cool. It even had these like little windows. It was the sickest place in the whole entire world. Like
I can imagine it, and I always imagined it a little dusty. Oh, your turn.
okay. Casey from Rhode Island asked, "What is your least favorite sea creature?"
From Rhode Island.
Oh yeah, shout out Rhode Island, Ocean State.
I didn't hear
Love
the rest
it.
of the question because I got so excited.
We love Rhode Island. Oh, sorry.
We or you?
We.
Okay.
What is your least favorite sea creature?
My least favorite. I love sea creatures.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure there's some that I don't, but I don't really think about them. That's how you give yourself a nightmare.
Fair.
I did not like Ursula when I was a little kid. I would go to the beach and I would make sand balls and I would, is that what you call them? And I would chuck them at the ocean and my mom would always be like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm fighting Ursula."
Yeah, you love The Little Mermaid.
Again, back to Disney.
Yeah. This is all.
Oh, wait. Let me tell you
I
another
know-
Ursula
I know-
story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
2 Ursula stories?
Yeah, there's a line in the movie and it's like, I used to think the line was, "Don't estimate the power of darling neighbor." But it was, "Don't estimate the power of body language."
You guys, no joke. She says this all the time.
I don't know, just to be a kid.
Okay, but I do know a sea creature that you might not have had the best experience with.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to go into another long story?
A stingray. And Christen stepped on a stingray. It was probably the most painful thing in her whole entire life. And that will be a story for another time on the recap show because we could do a whole story on.
I feel like it's now or never.
No.
Fatima from LA wants to know, if someone made a documentary about your career, what one moment must be in it?
Ooh. Oh, okay. So I always find this to be like really weird, but I remember I was at like a U14 identification camp, and it's like such a weird thing to think about because it's like there's like 60 to 100 kids that are all trying to be identified for like to go into the pipeline of the US women's national team. And I remember I kind of made it to like, we did it out to being the last game, you know, so there were, you know, just 22 players or whatever that had to make like, there were maybe 6 spots or something. Kristen's
6?
like, this is too much detail.
Wait, 6? Why were there 6 spots?
I don't know. That's like basically they were picking from that last game
got it,
a couple players that would go into this pool.
Got it.
And the field is lined up with like ID, like scouts, coaches, or whatever. And I just remember a ball was punted and I think I was playing like a 10 or something. A ball was punted straight into the air from the goalkeeper. And I took one of the best touches of my whole entire life. I literally just like brought it down. And I think that was a moment that set me on the trajectory of my life, was that one touch. And I still remember
have to tell
it.
you something. That was excellent storytelling.
Thank you.
You just brought me right there. I saw the ball in the air and I was wondering what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then
I still
brought it down.
Like, isn't that crazy? Like, I was probably at the time like 12 years old, and I distinctly remember that touch.
Wow. What a touch.
What a touch. It was the touch of God, honestly. Like, I have a great touch, but I even was surprised by it. I was like, wow.
Well, don't take that the wrong way. I think what you mean about the touch of God is like your destiny was that you were going to be a national team player, so God gave you the gift of being able to take that touch.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for your questions. There were questions from all over the world, and that just fills us up with joy. Thank you for watching this show and supporting the recap show, supporting Tobin and I. We are so grateful for you. Keep those questions coming. Want more of the recap show brought to you by Intuit QuickBooks? Like, rate, and subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.